anything.
I am a giant.
I am a giant. I crush buildings, walk over mountains, heads in the clouds.
This is concrete. This is a concrete form. As an example of Xiaoyan Chuan training, this pole here is made out of concrete. And what I'm doing is like, I'm shaking this, vibrating the pole. It's making it go like this. If I'm stiff, I'll just hit me. You'll hear like a loud, like a slapping. You know. So the sound is bouncing off the concrete, going back into my hand or busting up my hand. But when I'm relaxed, you don't hear the slap, but you hear the thud and vibe. It's like playing a drum. A stiff hand can't play a drum. You know, when I'm relaxed, it just vibrates. I don't have to, you know, do any effort. You know, if I want no power, I can probably pivot my foot. But keep the arms totally relaxed. Everything is dealing with root and the trunk of the body. Kind of like a hammer, and with ropes. So like the arms are like ropes, and the fist and palms are like a hammer. And you just let the body do the throwing. Don't raise the shoulder and cock back and all that. It's a lot of waste of movement. You know, where you can just strike very efficiently by being relaxed. You know, it's a hard surface, so I recommend this exercise to use open palm. Sometimes it's good to train the fist. Sometimes I work on, you know, a little bit of fist work. I don't really try to go too hard. I don't recommend it. Palm. You know, you can't play drums with your fist. You can play a drum with your palm. So this represents like a skull. If somebody's very hard body, you know, you play them like a drum. And get the right kind of tone you want to get. So the vibration of the chi, energy, whatever you want to call it, that Jin travels out through the body and comes out through the palms and gives that vibration, like a vibrational tone. That's what makes the drum, you know, the doom doom doom. When you hear doom bing 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 boom 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 doom bing. You know, all that comes from the relaxation of the hands. But if the hands are too stiff, it's just gonna sound like a slap. It's just gonna sound like pop pop pop. That slap. The hand's stiff. But when I'm relaxed, you hear that thud and it's vibration. You know, that's pretty much an example of one of the type of training. In Xiaoyan Chuan, use anything. It's not necessarily a technique. You know, it's more of the philosophy of Wu Xing, which is like shapeless, being shapeless. Wu Xing Di Long is like the shapeless dragon. You want to be able to just move through anything, kind of like some kind of cosmic amoeba, and move through circumstance, situation. Not only in combat and martial arts, but just through life in general. You know, and being able to adapt through circumstances. You know, and be able to conduct yourself in any type of environment. You know, understanding time and place and, you know, when it's time to do things. You know, everything has its place in its order. You know, Xiaoyan Chuan is a martial art that I developed here in California. It has a lot of Chinese influence based upon the yin and yang principles of Tai Chi Chuan. However, I use a lot of the training principles and the drills of Tai Chi Chuan and Qigong and silk reeling exercises and combine them and use them not in teaching it in Tai Chi itself, as far as Tai Chi Chuan, like yang form. Pretty much more of your own personal expression in combat, not necessarily, you know, but just in combat, taking a more subtle approach. It has influences as well from Muay Thai. You know, that's my primary art that I started off doing, then I fell in love with Tai Chi Chuan, and that just took over everything. You know, I stopped competing and everything, and just kind of focused on, you know, my own inner, finding my own way, my own inner self, you know, and portraying that through this art. So I didn't know what to call it, you know, and I had a couple of friends that said, why don't you just name it after yourself? My name translated in Chinese was Deng Jiaoyan, so Cheyenne Dunbar. So I translated, I used the first name, Jiaoyan, and put the Xuan behind it, which is the fighting, and this collective of all my experiences, from how a little bit of ground fighting, a little bit of throwing, different kung fu arts, different Muay styles of fighting, not just Muay Thai. You have Muay Baran, and I took in Muay Chai. I took influences and ways of training from them as well, and added into the training of Xiaoyan Xuan. A little bit of Capoeira Angola. I use a lot of the African influence of training through dance for good cardio and keep your body in shape, giving you natural movement, and a lot of the African culture and the ancient Chinese culture have a lot in common as far as religion-wise and philosophy-wise. It was just perceived different because of two different cultures and two different worlds, different approaches. But in martial arts, Africans train their warriors through dance. It gave them natural movement, things like that. And it keeps the body relaxed and fluid. As you can see perfectly and clear that it's a strike. So these things there, Capoeira is an African influenced art, And that's me, Cheyenne, on Xiaoyan Xuan, on Deng Xiaoyan Amplified Natural Training. I'm out.
I go on and on.